All right, this morning we're going to be talking about building and trust, and to add a little metaphor and pun to this, building trust. See the building blocks of trust? Ha, so funny. All right, you get it. This is episode 367, 11 ways to build trust in our personal and professional lives. Enjoy the show. Financially free and enjoy more of what the world has to offer. This action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch. So a little one-person trampoline, very hope I screen shared it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Tanner Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, exercise, and ideas to help you become the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone, and this morning we're going to be jumping straight to it. These are going to be 11 ways to build trust. So why should we do this, you ask? Why should we be building trust? So 11 ways to build trust. Seems like everyone's a scammer nowadays. We look at everything. So one of the big reasons is you are a scammer until you're not. Scammer until you're not. This one's really tough to break the barrier of this, whether you're making online content, you're trying to grow your business, you're trying to get more clients or something along these ways. This scammer stuff is really tough because there's so many automations nowadays. One of my buddy in sales was just talking to him. He's trying to book so many. He has to go through so many numbers, but there's so many automated messages calling people, like just hammering them. He does like insurance products, and he's helping older people. So that demographic gets hammered so hard on automated cold calls that it's becoming harder and harder to talk to people. So I believe building trust is one of the gatekeepers in order to making a lot of money. And also just being a happier, healthy person if we want to have enriched lives and strong, healthy relationships. Okay, that's all nice and dandy. Let's get some money. Let's get some strong relationships. But let's get right into the 11 ways to do just that, to build the trust. So first off, we have consistency. If you want to build trust, if I want to build trust with you, I believe being very consistent helps build that trust. For example, this is episode 367. And when I say I am going to come online tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, people will probably believe me. Will they tune in? I don't know. We're still in the early stages of the show, trying to establish growth. Shout out, share this episode with somebody. Helps with the growth of the show. But meeting deadlines, I'm going to come on here at 8 a.m. I'm going to follow through. So in your own seat, how can you follow through? How can you meet a deadline that you've set for yourself, that you've set with somebody else to build trust? And doing this very consistently can be one of the easiest way to build trust. Because if you consistently don't show up or follow through, will I trust you to do this task? No. And it seems so obvious, but yeah, it's tough to do. We have a lot of moving parts. I get it, but I put this at number one because it's so easy to do. It's just like, if you're not going to do it, don't say you're going to do it. So follow through and meeting deadlines, consistency, number one. Next up is be transparent. Turns out we're not mind readers, and I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're feeling in any given moment. So being open and honest, I think, is really helpful in building trust. Tell me what's going on. Let me know. Obviously, whether this is in the work environment or whatever, this can be a bit of a delicate dance and takes some time and some thinking and some reflection on what you want to say. But I believe that most of us have a good understanding of what good, transparent, honest communication is. If you're frustrated with something, say if you have a deadline coming up and you know this other person you're working with is not helping you meet that deadline and they're consistently not doing that, and you don't say anything about it, you're just sitting there all mad and riled up. Do you think it's going to change? Do you think you're going to build trust with this person? Do you think it's going to get better for you in the future? No, we have to change in order for things to change. And I believe being open and honest is really helpful with this. And how you say things is very important. We're going to be touching a few more things on showing respect and communicating properly, but be transparent, but don't be an a-hole, right? If we can be transparent, we can be open, and we can be honest about what's going on with us, I believe it usually leads the way of helping other people do the same or allowing people to do it, right? If someone's coming to you and they're trying to talk to you and you're being a butthole and you're not like even listening or letting them talk, then probably they're not going to trust you or want to continue to communicate and help strengthen the relationship. Next up is demonstrating competence. We want to be able to give evidence. Turns out people want evidence. And this is why testimonials are so massive in business is we want to see that you're doing it right. We want to see that I can trust you. And so demonstrating competence on your skills. So if, for example, in this morning show, in my 50s, I want to be one of the best in the business at giving public speeches. If I can demonstrate my skills in the online world and show like on camera, consistently showing up, doing this, are people probably going to trust me on the public speaking front better than they would if I didn't? And I'd imagine you in your own ways, whether you're at work or you're reading these books and you're taking new actions, people want evidence to see that you can demonstrate the skills to do what you say you're going to do. Maybe an easy analogy would be something in the sports world. If I see someone on the football field scoring a lot of touchdowns, then I start to believe and see that they have the competence to hopefully do that for our same team. So people want evidence, and we got to give them evidence. So demonstrating your skills and showing that you're making massive improvements, I think, is really helpful for building trust. Next up, we have integrity. Integrity's made the show a couple times this week, and ethical behavior and admitting mistakes. We are going to screw up. For example, I just got this new website done. I'm transferring the domain Talk to Tanner over to this new domain, and I like jacked it up, and I'm having a lot of errors with it with this new software I'm using. And then the copywriter, the graphic designers, and other team members or people that I've hired out to help me with this, they can't even do their work because I jacked this part up and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm talking to IT. So I admit it to them. I screwed up. I'm trying to fix this, and I'm trying to fix it. I'm literally going to work on that as soon as this episode's done. But admit that we're making mistakes. People don't really care. What people do care about is when you mess it up and you blame others, or you're just like, who was that? That wasn't me, was it? And you're just like lying. And people most of the time are pretty bad liars. And even the good ones, humans tend to be good at sniffing that out. It's a survival instinct a lot of us have and possess. So ethical behavior, being ethically like supportive to people, be consistent with good behavior. And also when you make mistakes, just admit them. It's easier this way. It doesn't do us any good to lie about that crap. Next up, we have for building trust on our 11 ways to build trust. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in with us this morning. Is showing respect. Showing respect. What is the easiest way to show respect? Listening, of course. We're listening. We're seeing how they're talking, how they're moving. We're taking it all in. Fully focused on the other individual. We are listening. We talk about level 3 listening all the time here. It's a beautiful thing, and it's one of the easiest, if not easiest, way to build trust. Just listen to them. What do you got to say? I'm here for you. I can listen. You just sit back, shut the hell up, and let me have what you got to say. Get off your chest. Communication, social creatures, this stuff works so great for building trust if we just can listen a little bit more. And the second half of this would be respecting differences. So there's going to be things about other people that are not the same as you. And there's going to be certain things that people believe that you don't believe as well. And I'm not saying that if we can be okay with people being bad people, we're not saying that. But if they have a different opinion on something, whether it's political or personal or professional, like, geez, leave it where it lay. We're not going to change anybody's mind or opinion in arguments. That stuff is such a waste of time and total trash. But just respecting the differences and saying, okay, I see that's where they're at, and that's all right. And just not getting all riled up and responding and saying something that we end up definitely regretting. Next up, confidentiality. If we want to build trust, talking about 11 ways to build trust this morning, confidentiality. Do not gossip. I see this all the time. So, I mean, I'll admit, even I've done this. I still continue to do it, and I'll probably do it in the future. But naming it, recognizing, and reducing it is our goal. So in the past, someone's told me something, and then I've told it to somebody else, and I'm thinking, like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am this person's not here to defend themselves. This person's not here to explain themselves, to give more context. I get it. Human creatures feel validated when we can grab other people's attention and we can interact. And a lot of this is done, we get our significance from talking or bringing the news to the table. The news channels have been making billions of dollars off this since the beginning of time, and they just bring what grabs eyeballs. So we will tell somebody something about, so this is going on. Chad is with Jessica, but we've been seeing him hang out with Tiffany, and we want to be the first to the forefront to tell everybody about it. So we seem cool, we feel validated, and we feel special. But this is not a great way to build trust. Have you ever heard of the old saying that if someone's talking crap about somebody else to you, what do you think they do when they're not around you? Something to look out for. Confidentiality, getting rid of the gossip. I think that's a great way to build trust. Okay. Ooh, this one's a little bit slower. Investing time. The one we don't like to hear. It's like, oh, this stuff takes forever. Turns out you're going to have to make probably 1,000 morning shows to get any type of attention and build a big business. But it takes time. I read this in a book earlier. Shout out to Alex Ramosi. I get so much value from that dude. He's one of my favorite people ever. But he talks about just giving time. Like, geez, dude, like, stop being in a rush. Good, big things that feel good and make us feel accomplished, they just take time. And building trust with other people is really special, and it feels amazing. Think of someone who you trust dearly, someone who you trust with your life, someone who you trust with your savings, someone who you trust at work, in your personal life. Did it take some time to build that trust? So I think if we're not such in a rush in this super fast-paced world, I think building trust can be a little more enjoyable. It's like, whoa, bump the brakes. It just takes some time. So that's our next tip, is giving time to invest that time into our relationships to build trust. Good morning. I hope we're all having a great morning this morning. We're on to the next one of our 11 ways to build trust, and that's seek feedback. If I asked you, how can you trust me more? What can I do to help build trust? And you could say, well, Tanner, if you could give us more of maybe some coaching exercises, or if you could give us some more testimonials, or if you could give us some more content, if you could give us, maybe you need something. But I can't read. We talk about being a mind reader all the time and how that's a fantasy. And if I can ask for feedback and I can get that feedback, I make some changes, I improve myself, I show a higher level of competence and evidence, you're probably going to trust me even more. When we listen to somebody else and we take their opinion and then we actually make real changes to our lives, you know how good that feels? So think in your own situation just for a moment, humor me. You are talking to somebody who you care about or someone who you're starting to build trust with. And they say, you're a rock star. How can I improve this? And you're like, oh, geez, thanks. I appreciate you asking me. People actually like to give their opinion, it turns out. And you tell them, well, maybe you could try this, and maybe you could try this, and maybe you could try this. The next day they go out and they try and they do these 3 things, and then they improve themselves and they come back, oh, I got your advice, and then I did this and I did this and I did this, and it's so much better now. Thank you so much. Are you going to trust this person? Hell yeah, you are, because they made you feel really good. They took action. They proved they have competence and trust within you, and trusting other people tends to lead us to trust them as well. So asking for feedback is a beautiful, easy hack to building trust. So try it out. See if you can get some advice from someone, lay it on the line, give them credit, thank them, and see if that doesn't help build some trust. Next up, we have showing appreciation. Oh man, this one's so easy, but so hard. Saying thank you and I'm sorry. If you screw up, it turns out you don't lose a finger if you say you're sorry. It's not the end of the world. And we don't need to say this all the time, because then it tends to lose its values. You know, that person who's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And just all the time, they're always saying sorry. It's like, okay, relax. It's lost its weight. Clearly, you're not sorry. That's just like a tick that you have with communication. But so we don't want to over abuse it, but it is okay if you genuinely do something and you can see the frustration, you can see the emotion on someone else's face. You can say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I really am. And it's like, oh, wow. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. So showing appreciation, you can do that. And also you're not going to lose the other finger from saying, thank you. I appreciate that. Again, we don't need to do it all the time, but we can genuinely see when people are making an effort, and that deserves a thank you. Whether you're in the middle of going into a gas station, someone opens the door for you, say thank you. Or even when you're coming home and you're talking to your partner, your spouse, your parents, your family, your kids, or whatever, and they do something nice, thanks for doing that. And a little bit of eye contact and some soft tone tends to go a long way with thank you. So try that out, see if that's helpful to you. But that is another tip for building trust is it's okay to say thank you. And turns out it's not the end of the world to say sorry when you screw up. So thank you and sorry, showing appreciation. Next up we have for building trust, 11 ways to build trust is deliver quality, delivering quality. Are you creating quality work? And this is something that takes a lot of reflection. It takes a lot of feedback. It just takes a lot of time. A lot of these other elements that we've been able to talk about today for building trust. So this morning show means the absolute world to me. And I want it to get better, and I want to continue to improve. And I watch these videos and then I chop them up and I try to make short form content. I try to do so much with it to try and help build my personal brand. It's my waterfall system to try and get where I'm trying to go. So if you think I can improve it, please reach out to me. Let me know what I can do. But having this genuine question, are you delivering quality work? Because if you deliver quality work, you're going to get quality results. And quality results is quality evidence. And we talked about how powerful evidence really is in business. The world of testimonials, people want that evidence and competence to show and prove that this stuff really works. Or else you're a scammer until you're not. Like, that's why we had to put that one on the board this morning, because it's so important. So whatever work you're doing, whether you're coaching, whether you're teaching, whether you're helping people get a haircut, whatever you are doing, ask yourself, are you doing quality work? And how can you make it a little bit better? No judgment, just a little bit better. That's what we're aiming for. So asking if we're delivering quality, quality drives results. The next up we have here, oh, this is number 11. Oh man, we are rocking and rolling through this today. Good morning, everyone. So the 11th way to build trust is share your values. And if you do not know your values, you need to take my course, the One-Page Life Plan. It's a fun game where you go through a bunch of questions, you boil it down, you get these plug and play pieces that are really fun, interactive. You get to keep the course, the games and all that stuff for life, so you can play with yourself or with other people. But getting those values down and then making sure I know my values, and then finding other people who share these values. People with similar values but different skill sets is what makes monster businesses grow. So find people with similar values. Maybe you find friends or people who are interested in health. Talk about that. Maybe you know somebody who's interested in cooking or food, or maybe they're interested in national parks. If you talk to me about national parks, I'm probably going to have a smile on my face. I'm like, yeah, that one is crazy. Bonkers. My mom just went to Yellowstone, showing me some pictures, and I'm like, dude, like this place is nuts. But so we can find people who value certain things, and then we can use that as an anchoring system to help communicate with them, understand what they're interested in, build trust really, really effectively. All righty, that was 11 ways to build trust. Woo! Thanks for sticking with me this morning. We got a whole lot of them. And with this content, you can always go back and rewatch them. Think for yourself, get the journal out, write out some tips for yourself. Like, how can I build some trust with some people, and see if this can be helpful? But before we go, of course, we have a bonus. We have a bonus before we get out of here this wonderful, wonderful Thursday. I hope everyone's having a magical, magical morning. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone's going to like me. Not everyone's going to want to watch this show. And that's okay. I think a lot of suffering comes from putting ourselves out there and then getting some initial reactions that, I just don't really like this person. I don't butt heads with them. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. So often, there would be somebody who I wouldn't really like, or somebody who wouldn't really like me, and it would drive me up a wall. I'd be like, what did I do? I mean, am I just a loser? Like, are they just like a piece of crap? What's really going on here? It turns out you're not going to like absolutely everybody. People just have different values, different experiences, different cultural backgrounds, sexes, whatever. There's so many different things going on that it's literally impossible mathematically for everyone to like us. And the sooner that we can let go of this and accept this, like, okay, not everyone's going to like me. But if you do these things, if we use these 11 ways to build trust, we're showing up, we're consistent, we're transparent, we demonstrate competence, we have integrity. If we're doing all these things, delivering quality, there's a good chance that a lot of people are going to like us. But I can guarantee you there's still going to be a couple people that don't. So I wanted to put this out there in case you run into some a-hole today who you're trying to do your best, you're trying to help, you're trying to build trust, and they're just not having it. Screw them. That's okay. And we don't need to have animosity. We don't need to have judgment. We don't know what's going on with these people. Their parent could have just died. Their kid could have just died. We just don't know. So give the benefit of the doubt. Cars on a highway, they come, boom, they're gone, and we move on to the next thing, because all we can do is improve ourselves and improve building trust with the people we love and care about. So this was 11 ways to build trust. I hope this was helpful, folks. And I know these 11 ways have really changed my life, and specifically, man, this listening stuff and showing appreciation. Yeah, I'm very, very grateful. I'm excited to continue to implement these, because I know building trust with lots of strangers is going to be vital for my business to get where I want it to go. Additionally, my relationships at home with my girlfriend, with my parents, with my friends, to just have a full encompassing life, trust is going to need to be there. So cheers to that, friends. That's all I got for us today. And as always, you can catch us live 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with another episode of Talk Tanner Morning Show. We go live every Monday through Friday. So I'll be here tomorrow morning, Friday morning, September 29th, with episode 368. If you know anyone who wants to tune in, make sure to share this show, share the content. Maybe you know someone who wants to listen to this and get some good messages out of trust today, and you can share this episode with them. I would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to grow the show as much as possible. So share the content. It means the world to me. That's all I got. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. and have a great day. Oh, yeah, of course, I almost forgot in case you needed to hear it. I love you. You're a badass. You got this. Let's go build some trust with ourselves, trust with other people we care about, and see if it can improve the quality of our lives. Peace.